Hey gamers, this is Liz Davidson from Beyond Solitaire, and I'm here to continue our Assassin's Creed Brotherhood of Venice tutorial. I'm taking you through the very first 3 memories of the game. Last video, we did just setup, what's in the box, and memory 0.1. We are now going to do memory 0.2 and 0.3 for this video, and that should basically introduce all the rules to you. Memory 0.1 didn't have any combat. Memory 0.2 is going to have partial combat and interaction with the enemies, and then memory 0.3 is going to have a full enemy phase. So you'll know basically all the main things that you can do in the game by the time this video is over. So I'm now set up for memory 0.2. I've not opened the envelope just yet, but here is the setup. There's a couple things that are added from 0.1 that we're going to be talking about. So once again, I have set up the tiles, and I've set them up based on the instructions that are in the campaign booklet. So you're going to get a detailed map of where to put stuff, and I have recreated that on my table, just like you will. But there are a few things that are added from last time. We have some more crossbowmen, but we'll deal with that part when we get to it. What we also have going on, however, are a hiding spot, this number 8, and then these 9s on each of these tiles that make up one medium tile are meant to remind me that there is a tower here. So there's like a fancy tower mini from the Kickstarter campaign. I don't have that right now. So these little tokens are there to remind me that I can hop up onto this tower and synchronize, which is something that we will be doing in this memory. I've got Claudio out. I've got Daria out. Let's just put their minis on the fast travel station, because this is where they're going to enter and leave the board. So they're ready to go. Their health is set up, their actions are set up, and their equipment is set up. So they each have a common sword, which we will be using at some point in this scenario. Claudio has a hidden blade, which we will hopefully be making lots of use of. And each of them has 1 parachute. And we acquired those last memory. So I'm pretty sure we'll be using those to try to take out some of these rooftop guys ASAP. We've also added a couple of other things that y'all haven't seen. This is a compass. Enemies are going to move in certain directions once you have a full enemy phase, so you want to have a compass so you know what direction is what. And then over here, this is the enemy board. So this is actually where the alert token will go, and there'll be information about the different enemies that we have on cards that we place here. So that's all of the new setups so far, but let's go ahead and crack open the envelope for memory 0.2, because that's where we're at now. So once again, we are going to read the red card inside before we do anything else, because it's going to tell us what to do with what's in the envelope. So let's pull that red card out. Warning, read this card before taking other cards out of the envelope. All right, so the first thing it's going to have us do is shuffle the 4 equipment cards with those previously discarded to form the equipment deck. So we used and discarded 2 parachutes last time that I kept aside. We're going to shuffle those with the new equipment cards. It says shuffle the 3 event cards and place them on top of the event deck. So we already have events from last memory that we'll be incorporating. It says place the crossbowman card text side up on the crossbow slot of the enemy board. So we're going to have a card that tells us what these crossbowmen are going to do as we interact with them. We'll put the tower card on the table. So there's a card telling us what to do with the tower. We're going to form a deck with chest cards, without shuffling them. And then we're going to leave some reward cards in the envelope. And then we're going to flip this card to make a player's aid. So let me take care of all that, and then we will continue. All right, so before we get started, let's find out what this is about. It's about a precious pistol. Events escalate in the fortress besieged by Cesare Borgia's troops. Under the cover of darkness, now is the time to take action. Thanks to the assassin apprentices, we are now free and armed. Ezio needs to approach Cesare. This is highly risky if Cesare wields his famous, fearsome pistol. We need to infiltrate the weapons room and sabotage the gun. We need to be extra careful with the guards. They will chase and attack us on sight. All right, I have obeyed the envelope. We have put some new event cards on top of the deck. We've shuffled the equipment together. There's a tower. Basically, once I get up to the top of this tower and synchronize, I can flip it, see what happens. And then probably the most important thing is we have this crossbowman card. So let's have a look at it. So this is telling us when an incognito assassin enters the square, then we have to perform a detection test. So we already know how to do that. But an enemy on an attacked square can retaliate. So we are going to get into it with these guys. An exposed assassin trying to leave a square with an enemy who's still alive gets hunted. So they will chase us. And then during the enemy phase, although we're not having that yet, An exposed assassin or ally within range is attacked. So basically, these guys can retaliate and they can give chase, so we're gonna have to deal with them. Dealing with them, however, is also part of our objective. So according to the campaign booklet, there are 3 things that we need to do. We need to sabotage Cesare Borgia's pistol, eliminate all the guards and hide their bodies. So we'll be learning how to hide bodies, a very wholesome, useful life skill. And for 100% sync, which we totally want, we're gonna have to do panoramic view, which means we need to climb the tower, sync up, and then retrieve what we discovered. So this is gonna be fun. We're gonna be searching bodies, checking out something cool on the map that'll appear after we synchronize, basically checking out some cool aspects of the game that we didn't see last memory. So let's go ahead and get going. We have this new player aid. So this one, again, we're gonna have an event phase, an assassin phase, and an end of turn phase. So let's go ahead and flip an event and see how things go. So what this event says is at the end of the assassin phase, any assassin or ally who's on a roof is subjected to a detection test with 1 die. Place an alert token on the enemy reinforcement deck as a reminder. So we don't have an enemy reinforcement deck yet because reinforcements are part of the enemy phase that we're not playing just yet. But basically, we need to remember, if I'm on a roof, I'm gonna have to do a detection test. So let's maybe avoid the rooftops or not end up on one at the end of our turn this time. So that was the event phase. Now we're in the assassins phase where we can play our actions. So I think what I wanna do, do we split the party? That's the question. It might be kind of cool to have Claudio maybe go this way and onto the tower and send Daria this way, and maybe they can meet up. Don't know if that'll work, but we can try it. No guts, no glory. So here's what I think I would like to do. So Claudio has some cool abilities because he has his hidden blade. And he also has a special ability, once per turn, if you are incognito, use your hidden blade for 0. So I think what we should try to do is let's sneak up in here and then try to kill this guy and then try to keep moving. Because if I can get up here incognito, I can eliminate him for free. And then I can show you how to hide a body, which, I mean, awesome. So yeah, I think that makes sense. Let's go ahead and move Claudio here for 1. So that's one of his actions. We have to do a detection test now that he has snuck in here. So let's see if we get seen. All right, so that one rolled a blank. That was nice. We do not get detected. So for 0, for free, I can now, once per turn, if I'm incognito, use my hidden blade for 0 actions. And my hidden blade lets me eliminate 1 guard on my square. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna eliminate this guard. Boop, he's gone. That was very satisfying. So now, part of our objective is that we have to eliminate all the guards and we have to hide all their bodies. So let's have a lovely discussion about how to hide bodies in this game. So here in the rules, we have a lovely section on hiding and searching bodies. So I can spend 1 of my action tokens. You can use it to hide all bodies on the square, which is pretty great. If I want to search them, I can pull equipment cards. Apparently there are cards in the equipment deck that will say investigation that can mess up my search. Ooh, that's a little scary, but I need to search these bodies. And then after that, I can remove all bodies from the square and put them back in the enemy reserve. And then I can choose to discard or keep the equipment cards on my assassin board. So that's kind of nice. Also, it's got a little bit of a tweak to the rules. You can hide bodies for sure if you're incognito. If you're exposed, you can still hide bodies, but only if there's no enemies on your square. So don't forget, enemies chase you a little bit, so you have to be able to have a little bit of movement in order to get out of their sight. Once I have some equipment, you can look at 18, equip. So whenever I collect new equipment cards, I can just put them on my board, and then you have to start paying action tokens in order to trade or like move the equipment around. So from your inventory to occupied slots, for example. So let's go ahead and pay 1 of my action cubes. We are gonna search this body. Let's pull an equipment card. I hope I get something good. Ow. So nothing fresh yet. I just got one of the parachutes from last time. I mean, that's not terrible, but I kind of wanted something new. I'm not gonna complain though. Parachutes are pretty useful. So I took a parachute. And then this dude's body goes to the reserve. So whoosh, he's gone. By the way, if you ever get to a point where there's so many enemies on the board that you run out of miniatures for them to place, then you actually lose the memory. So it's also good to hide bodies because it helps to recycle, so to speak. So I still have an action cube. That's exactly what I want because I don't want to be on a rooftop at the end of the turn because this full moon action would force me to perform a detection test. So we're going to use this action cube to move here. Also interesting, by the way, is that there are ladders on the board in some locations now. The assassins don't need them, but they're going to come up, I think, in the future because guards who are not blessed with agility need the ladders to chase you up onto the rooftop. So the location of the ladders tells you where guards can actually chase you to a higher location. As an assassin, you just have that magical ability to get enough air to just hop up onto the roof, but not everybody does. All right, so those are Claudio's actions. Let's let Daria do some stuff. So Daria is in a different situation though, because she does not have one of those little special hidden blades. She only has a common sword. And the moment we use it, we're going to be revealed. So we are going to need to do like a normal attack with her, and it's going to get her seen, so she has to be pretty aggressive about how she handles it. One thing that's interesting though, is that even if she makes a scuffle over here, these guys are going to stay on the objective. Guards will prioritize sticking with the objective to make it harder for you to get, and the ones who aren't hooked to the objective will definitely chase you. So we'll be looking at the rules about that as we get into that situation. All right, so let's walk through an attack with Daria's sword so you know how it's going to be. So 1, 2, let's roll a detection just to see if this guy spots her right away. No, because we are not on alert status. So we have an eye, but only if the alert symbol has been flipped over, which it has not yet. So Daria manages not to get seen, but she's about to. She's going to trigger an alert. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this common sword. And what that is going to mean is that we get to roll 2 of our white attack dice. We spend 1 cube to do that. And we're going to hope that we roll enough attacks to kill this guard. The bit in the bottom is a special ability for if we roll an assassin result on our die. But I don't want to push anybody back to a square. I want to kill this guy. So we'll see how it goes. We know from the crossbowman card that he only has to get hit 1 time to die because this red cube right here is telling us that information. So 1 hit and he's dead. Hopefully it'll happen. And these are the dice that we're using. So basically this little burst symbol is a hit. You can get an assassin result for the special ability on your weapon. Or you can get this cross swords, which basically means that you did not hit them and they're also going to potentially retaliate. So in this case, a crossbowman will retaliate. Daria could lose some health from this. All right, so we're gonna roll these dice and see how it goes. Okay, so we got 1 hit, 1 assassin result. So we're just gonna allocate this hit to kill this guy. So we have now a body in the square. That was her 3rd action, so we can't hide that body just yet, but you know, in the future. But unfortunately, we also have to do the results of her common sword card. So Daria becomes exposed, and we have to flip to alert, which means it's going to be easier to get seen in the future, which is scary. So Daria will be exposed. We're just going to place this red base, like you could put it on the mini, but we're going to lose it momentarily, so I'm too lazy to do that. And then we also have to flip this to alert. So it's going to make our detection rolls a little bit more difficult. That's rough. So you might be thinking to yourself, once you're exposed, how do you become incognito again? So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to move Daria to a square that does not contain any enemies, and then she'll lose her exposure. So what's going to happen since there's no enemy phase this turn? If they're in an enemy phase, then Daria would immediately get attacked by these guys next turn. They would come her way and come at her. But this is baby memory point 2. It's not going to happen yet. So next turn, she'll still be able to hide a body. There's no enemies on the square. We'll move her and help her lose that status. And that's what happens once you've been exposed. The other thing we might choose to do is that Daria does have her special ability. So for 0 action cubes, because I don't have any left, once per turn, I can give back 1 cube to 1 assassin or to myself who used all of their action tokens on the map and who stayed incognito since the beginning of the turn. So what I'm assuming that means is that I can give 1 more free action to our buddy Claudio, and I'm definitely going to do that. So we're going to give him 1 cube back, which he's going to spend to move into here because I need to sync up. And so I'm trying to, you know, get all of that set up to happen as efficiently as possible. Another thing that's kind of fun, although it doesn't really matter for this scenario, is for 0, I can hide in this number 8. This is a hiding spot. So it's like the haystack in the video game. So for no reason at all, for free, I'm just gonna put Claudio in here because he's being secretive and hiding in the haystack because he can. No one's coming at him this turn because the guards aren't moving, there's no enemy phase, but I don't care. It's fun, we're doing it. Basically everybody is in an okay position. If we had an enemy phase, Daria would be in trouble, but we don't. Okay, so that was the end of the assassin phase. We're gonna go to the end of turn phase, check whether to start a new game turn or not. Well, we ain't done, so we're definitely starting a new game turn. So back to the event phase. Draw an event card and apply its effect. Okay, Fall of the Wall. Immediately select one small tile, excluding indoor tiles, having a wall in contact with a medium tile containing a tower. Flip this tile to its side without a wall, then place any tokens or miniatures that were on it before the event back onto it. So basically I can eliminate a wall, a barrier. There are two options for me since it says it has to be an outdoor wall in contact with a medium tile. So I can do this one, or I can do this one. So basically, do I want to make my path of entry easier going in or coming out? I think I'm going to do this one. I like the idea of being able to run up on that rooftop on the way out if I have to for some reason. And there you go, you flip it, no wall, magic. Okay, so that's the event. Now it's time for our, we should have replenished these, but that's fine. Now we're gonna do another assassin turn. So let's start with Daria. You can actually go in any order and mix them up. I just haven't needed to yet. Let's deal with Daria. Her situation is a little bit more scary. So what we're gonna do for her is let's have her, there's no enemies on her square, so she's okay in that respect. So what we're going to do is let's have her spend a cube to go ahead and hide this body because there's no one there to see her do it, even if she's exposed, so, you know, shh. So we're going to draw an equipment card. Let's see what we got this time. Ooh, something fresh. We got throwing knives. So cannot be used in a canal, but we'll deal with that when we get to see canal styles. The watery ones. So this is telling us that we can spend an action cube to basically have like a silent kill. The throwing knives do not cause an alert. It's like a little distance weapon. That's really cool. So I'm going to want to equip this soon. So it says ignore this result if there's only one enemy on the targeted square. If we get a retaliate, that's kind of nice. And then the assassin result is one guard is eliminated and my stock of knives is depleted. This card is discarded. Ooh. So basically this is a great weapon until I actually manage to kill someone. Okay then. But I can equip it now. According to the equipment rules, when you collect it, you can slot it right away. So I'm going to put it right here on my, my distance weapon thing, which is really kind of nice actually. This guy will get put in my reserve for now because I hid the body. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to move. So now I'm incognito, and basically the way that, so if you've played the Assassin's Creed video game, the guards know where you were last seen and they flock to that area. That's marked in the board game by leaving this here. So we know that Daria was seen here and they eventually disappear. But for now, that's gonna be there. But now Daria herself is back to being incognito and she has one more cube to work with. And then it doesn't say that I can't, so I want to keep moving this way. I'm going to go ahead and spend my third action to come back in here. Since I know nobody's chasing me or hunting me down, I'm taking advantage of that this turn. I'm just going to move her right back in there so she can get back into action next turn. Once the assassin's phase is over, this will get removed, so they don't stay out forever. It's just for the turn. Now it's Claudio's turn. Claudio's going to do some cool stuff. So you can leave a hiding space for 0, so I'm just going to like roll out of the hay, you know, it'll be cool. And then let's spend 1 cube to go to the top of this tower. Awesome. Let's spend 1 more cube to synchronize because it's Assassin's Creed. You got to synchronize at the top of a tower, right? Like how can you not? So we are going to flip this over and we're going to see what it tells us. Ooh, surprise. Okay, so it says from the top of the tower, you can see a well-guarded chest. Add 1 chest and 1 crossbowman miniature on the map. Learn how to open this chest by checking rule 10. But basically you just spend 1 action to open a chest. So that's pretty cool. We'll see what's in there. So let's put one chest and one crossbow mini right here on the map because that's where it's shown on the tower card. So that's pretty awesome. But now we got to get it, see if we can. And now we're actually in kind of a situation where I don't have the most efficient stuff I can do with Claudio because basically I can't just jump down into here and you can't attack off of a tower. I'm going to have to hop off of the tower and into a hiding place. The good news is that a leap of faith is worth 0. So I can just hop down here for free. I could have used my parachute if I had to just go kill this guy and take care of that, but I can't. I only have one action and I can't get the special action from Daria without having spent all of my cubes. So that kind of puts me in a weird spot for that, which is unfortunate. That's okay, that's how the game works. Then let's spend one more cube to move here. And then Daria can give me one more. The question is, do I want to try to go into a place and just hope I'll stay incognito? I think no. I think my best option is to wait until I have all my actions before I go moving into one of these squares so that if I'm seen, I can, kill somebody instead of get hit. All right, so now end of turn phase, check whether to start a new game turn or not. Clearly, yes, we are continuing. So let's get ready for another event phase. Okay, so event phase. Missing. All right, so during this turn, you can hide up to 2 bodies located on one square of your choice in the map for 0. One or more assassins on the square can search the bodies. Okay, so it's like a free body hide. I will be hiding some bodies this turn, so good. Okay, so let's figure out what we want to do now. Let's start with Claudio. The question is, I think Claudio should move in here and handle that chest and then move around. I think that's our best shot, personally. We'll see. So Claudio's going to spend 1 to move in here. Let's see if he can remain incognito this time because his die rolls are a lot more dicey now that the guards are on alert. So let's see how that turns out. Oh, so Claudio's a sneaky little thing and I like it. So he is in here unseen with this guard, which means that I can, once per turn if I'm incognito, use my stabbing device, my hidden blade for 0. So I'm going to use that to just kill this guy for nothing. Woohoo. I don't think she's going to actually be in here to take care of both of the bodies, so I'm going to go ahead and use missing right now. So during this turn, I can hide up to 2 bodies located on one square of my choice for 0 and search the bodies. So for another 0, I'm going to get rid of this guy. Of course, we're going to have searched it first. We'll see what our equipment is. Oh, great. Claudia was like king of the parachutes. All the parachutes got shuffled at the top of the equipment deck. Oh, well. All right, so I'm carrying that. I got like 3 parachutes right now. Fantastic. And then I'm going to spend 1 cube to open this chest. So then I get to take 1 card from the top of the chest deck. I left it in the envelope because I wasn't really sure what to do with it before I started this memory. But there is in fact a chest deck that you don't shuffle. So we're just going to get chest item number 1. And we're also going to get a chest token, which will be worth hopefully some points at the end. But chest 1, let's see. Ooh. Y'all, I got some armor. Read rule point 25. But this is going to basically increase my health and my defense, which is super awesome. I think I can just equip it right now. So we're just going to have a quick clothing change. Put some Roman armor on. That's going to bump my health by 1. So in goes this cube. And then we're good. Good for now. So basically I ended up with 4 health and I put my armor on. So because you can't see the whole card, basically what happens is that you slot your armor under here and it shows you how much extra health you got. And then I added it to my character board. That was thrilling. Okay, so then now I can take a 3rd action. So I'm going to come here. And then I could try to get a 4th action from Daria, but I'm not going to. Let's see if she can stay incognito enough to use it herself. So we're going to use throwing knives to attack 1 space over. I think that's our best option, and we can basically just attack from a distance until either everyone's dead or we run out of cubes. So I think that's what we should definitely do. So I get to roll 1 die for 1 cube. So let's just attack one of these guys. Pay a cube, roll a die. Okay, so that was a hit, and these guys only have 1 life, so boom, this one is dead. That's cool. We'll play a second one. So we will roll another time. Okay, so we actually rolled a retaliate. However, it says ignore this result if there's only 1 enemy on the targeted square. So we don't actually have to deal with the retaliation for this. So let's do it again. Third action. All right, so this one died too. So now we just got a couple dead dudes hanging out. Awesome, on this tile. So we took care of that, I guess. And then actually, Daria is still technically incognito. So I think what's going to happen is she can actually take an extra action for herself. And I'm just gonna go ahead and use it to move in here so we can start dealing with stuff. Okay, so into turn phase, we're absolutely continuing. So we're gonna pop back around to the event phase. And these are gonna be back to events that you saw last time. All right, event. You don't belong here. So this one was during this turn, any detection test on a roof is carried out as if there is an alert, but they're already alert. So it doesn't really matter. All right, so speaking of, let's do stuff. Daria is going to go ahead and just use all of her action cubes this turn to pick up this objective. And that's her whole shtick. Then I'm actually gonna be nice and I'm gonna give an action to myself again. So once per turn, I can give back a cube to an assassin who used all their cubes and who stayed incognito since the beginning of their turn. So that's me. Fantastic. And then I'm going to spend that cube to hide the bodies. It only costs 1 cube to hide them all. So I get 1 equipment per body. Ooh, this one's awesome. Basically, if nobody is currently exposed, you've both gone back incognito, then you can use the town crier to change from alert to not alert and remove, I should have removed that before, all of your last located things from the map. That's really cool. And then second equipment, ooh, this one's a smoke bomb. So for 1 action cube, you can target a nearby square. Any exposed assassin or ally on that square becomes incognito. However, their last located base stays on that square. That's cool. Okay. Got cool stuff. So that also means that we are gonna hide the bodies. So basically, Daria got a lot done this turn because she's a boss. Fantastic. So now all the bodies have been hidden from there and we just have 1 guy left. Also, this is opened. I'll take that off the map. Okay, so now we're down to Claudio. What is Claudio gonna do? Claudio has to move onto the roof. Okay, on guard. Is he gonna be seen? Yes, oh no. So Claudio is now exposed. We're just gonna put that base right here. And he and this guard are gonna fight. So one of the reasons you maybe don't wanna get exposed at the end of a turn is that in a full memory where we're doing all the rolls, you're gonna have guard phase where the enemies can attack you if they can see you. So you don't wanna like end your turn getting seen and there's nothing you can do about it. However, Claudio can attack. So I can use my common sword, that's 2 dice. And I got 1 retaliate, 1 hit. Okay, so I don't have to do a retaliation because basically I get to eliminate the enemies as I wish. So I allocate the dice according to my preference. So I'm gonna allocate the hit first to take this guy out. So then the retaliation won't actually happen. But if it were gonna happen, then I would roll one of these black enemy dice, which is this thing right here. But don't worry, we'll have plenty of opportunities to see that next memory. Then I'm gonna spend my 3rd cube to get an equipment and hide this body. Woo, we are cleaning out the equipment. So now I've got some throwing knives for my boy Claudio, so that's really cool. We both have some distance stuff going on now, and then that will allow me to hide the body. But I'm still exposed, which isn't great, but it doesn't really matter this time. All right, do we continue? Yes, because we have to continue play until the assassins leave the map using the fast travel. Okay, so event corruption. During this turn, the first assassin to become exposed can give up equipment, but we're not gonna get exposed. There's no enemy phase, there's no reinforcements coming in. So we're just gonna book it. So I think what we're gonna do, let's have Claudio go first. So he's gonna go 1. Actually, you know what? Do I wanna waste a parachute on this? I know I can just sit around and take forever. Nah, I'm not gonna use the equipment. So 1, 2, 3, and then Daria can do 3. So since Daria has actually been incognito the whole turn, he hasn't. He started incognito. Then I can give myself, using my special action, a cube back, and then whoosh, disappear from the map. So Daria's made it out. We'll continue for one more turn. This event is Florins, where I can throw money at people, but there's no one to throw money at. So I will spend 1, 2, 3, all 3 of my actions, bop, 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 to get Claudio off the map. And that is memory 0.2, all done. We'll get set up for 0.3 and finish off this tutorial.